Hello my loves, what is up and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well, having yourselves a good day or night whenever you're watching this. And welcome to our final monthly reset of 2025. How did we bloody get here? Honestly, against all odds, we have made it to the end of the year. I've said this time and time again throughout the year, but I really cannot believe like how quickly the months have flown by, and now this is it. Like next time I film a reset, it will be my 2026 yearly reset. Like let that just sink in for a moment. 2026. Crazy. This month also marks my 5th year of doing a December reset. There's something about December in particular. I've been doing these videos for over 5 years now, but something about December, I'm so reflective this time of year. I feel like December for me as well is always like a very pivotal time with a lot of change, and to go back and see where I was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3, 4, now 5 years ago, and like see where I was at, who I was, where I was living. This is probably the first time in 5 years that I'm in the same house I was a year ago, what job I was in, where my finances were at, what my goals were. Like it's a little time capsule of like my personal growth, and I find it so inspiring. I find my past self really inspiring, whether there's things that I would love to go back to, or like ways that I carried myself, or things that I was focused on that I maybe want to go back to, or maybe seeing myself and be like, I don't want that. I think growth is inevitable, and it's so cool to like go back and see. I'm just feeling so much gratitude this time of year. Like I really get in my feels, even more so now being pregnant. I feel like I'm just a hormonal bag of emotions right now. I just want to say thank you for being here, whether you've joined just recently or you've been here for the last 5 years. Thank you for being here on this journey with me. And I know that this time next year, I'm going to look back and be like, girl, you had no idea what was in store for you. As we enter 2026, I know it's just going to be full of so much growth, so much personal development, really like stripping back myself as a human as I enter motherhood. And I can't wait for it. Like I'm just so excited, so ready, and I can't wait to bring you guys along. Not to get too deep too quickly. Anyway, moving on. Merry Christmas, happy December. I have tried to create a bit of Christmas ambiance. We've got the U-log on. It's a little violent today. I don't know why it's moving so fast. Is it on 2 times speed? I'm not sure. I feel like it's just moving really rapidly. Is that me? Got Christmas lights going. I've got my gingerbread iced latte, my beautiful Anthropology Christmas glass. Really trying to curate some Christmassy vibes. I'm actually not really feeling the festive spirit yet, which I know. I put my Christmas tree up 3 weeks ago and I'm not yet feeling Christmassy. And then because we were so focused on the baby shower and preparing for that, I just haven't given Christmas much thought. If I'm honest, I've only watched one Christmas movie, Love Actually, not even my favorite. It's controversial, but I don't really like Love Actually. It puts me in a bad mood. I like the premise and there's certain storylines that I enjoy, but the main one that really upsets me, Snape, Professor Snape, why do you have to cheat on your wife? What did Emma Thompson ever do to you? Oh, every time I watch it, I just hate all men, and that's not really the Christmassy spirit that we're trying to bring. So I do this every year as well. I'm like, I'm gonna start watching Christmas movies in November. That way I'll get through all my favorites, no problem. And then I never do. So we need to get onto that. Anyway, with that being said, we're gonna get into the reset. If you're new here, I always go over my goals. I didn't set any for November. I just wasn't really feeling it, and we honored those feelings, but I have set some for December. So we'll go over those, and then we'll get into the budget, how we went with last month's budget, what we spent, what we saved, what we invested, how much we made, just like where our money went. And then from there, we'll set a new budget for December. Both templates I use for my goals and my budget are from Code Plenty. I always have them linked down below along with my discount code. That will give you a nice little discount. You can also bundle them together as well if you're interested in purchasing both. I use the yearly 2.0 spreadsheet specifically, but whatever works for you. The yearly 2.0 has a monthly setup, so you can see every single month, and then also gives you like your annual figures, which I find really interesting. You'll see when I go over my 2026 financial reset at the end of this year, I can like pull all the numbers and like compare it to last year and the year before. So definitely check that out if you are interested. I feel like this is the perfect time of year as we prepare for 2026. Not that I want to wish away December, but I am already starting to think about the new year and what my goals might be, how I want my budget to look, what sinking funds I might have, what my financial goals are, and this is like the perfect perfect time and perfect opportunity to set it up. So this is what the goal and habit tracker looks like. This is the one I did for October. So you've got your daily habits that you can tick off, weekly goals, and then monthly goals. I like to break mine up into different categories. So personal, wellness, financial, career, and then I have a little home to-dos list. And then there's also a section for reflection. So as I said, I didn't do anything for November. I just wasn't feeling it, and that's okay. We're humans, not robots, and I don't think it's unreasonable to just not feel it one month and to just take a step back from like that self-improvement, self-progress journey that we're all on. But I have set goals for December because I was feeling inspired. I don't think I'm going to do any daily habits just because December is always it's a weird month. So much going on. Like it's not my main focus right now, but I have set some monthly goals. So for personal, I would love to finish 3 books if I can this month. I think I've read 3 last month. I've really been in my reading era. I'm just enjoying it. I'm enjoying my Kindle. I'm enjoying my physical TBR. I'm just really enjoying reading. You guys know I've been trying to lower my screen time, get off social media a little bit more and stop doom scrolling. With that extra time, I've had more time to read. Who would have thought? Also want to start brainstorming goals for 2026. I've already started dabbling in this, and this will be something that I do throughout this month. I will go into much more detail on those in my 2026 reset, but just to start thinking about it, it's a nice little reminder. I would also love to, if I have time this month, to start a scrapbook for baby. I have my own personal scrapbook, which I'm actually not the best at keeping on top of. I shouldn't say on top of, it makes it sound like a chore. I'm like really behind on it. I have a lot of spreads, a lot of months that I need to cover. Sometimes that can feel a little overwhelming, and just like the thought of getting back into scrapbooking, it's been a while. I think it might be nice to start a scrapbook for the baby, obviously as like a nice little keepsake for myself and for him. Hopefully one day he'll enjoy looking back, but then it will also get me back into the swing of things, and then I'll be able to tackle my own personal scrapbook as well. For wellness goals, I just want to stick with my 8,000 steps daily and continue to have less than 2 hours a day on socials. For financial goals, I would love to invest $1,000. Also want to donate. I don't think we did last month, so I'd like to make a bigger contribution this month. I would also love to have a low spend month in terms of our personal spending. There's definitely categories that will not be low spend categories this month. That's just the nature of December. If there's other areas like miscellaneous spending, eating out, shopping, if those we can keep to a minimum and counteract some of that other spending, that would be nice. And then kind of going hand in hand with brainstorming goals for 2026, I want to set up our sinking funds and start thinking about my budget for 2026 and how I want that to look. The only career goal I've set this month is to take annual leave. Now this might be controversial. I think there's a big misconception that if you do social media and you're like a quote unquote influencer content creator, that every day is a day off. I'm here to say, as someone that has worked a normal full-time 9-to-5 job, I'm not saying this job is hard by any means. It's a very privileged job at the end of the day, and there are a lot of pros. One, I guess, con, or like one thing that I really struggle with is like switching off. I'm just like always thinking about something to do with this job, and that can be very mentally taxing, and I think it's important to take a step back and like put it into perspective. It's really not that deep, and like come back refreshed, put my best foot forward as we enter into 2026. And so I know some people are going to think this is stupid. People don't think it's a real job. I mean, I make money and I think about it 24/7, so like it feels like a real job. I think about this and what I'm doing here way more than I ever thought about any other job I've ever had. Like that mental load, I think, is probably the biggest thing. Like physically demanding, no. Emotionally demanding, yes. Probably not as much as like some customer service jobs I've had. Those were quite emotionally taxing. I was reflecting on like this year, and I've been so lucky to travel for work and just for pleasure. Even the personal trips I've taken this year, I was still posting and creating content like I normally would. I was also documenting those trips, and that's a choice. Like that's on me. It's not like a woe is me, my life is so hard, this is the hardest job in the world. I don't know why I'm trying to justify myself, or I feel the need to justify myself. I want to take some annual leave, just like a week. Nothing crazy. I just get 4 weeks annual leave in my past jobs. Like you can take a week, girl. And I feel like this time of year is a perfect time to do it. And then for my home to-dos, we're gonna declutter the bedside tables this month. Also clean out our junk drawer, which is in our kitchen. It's seen better days. Finish cleaning out the garage. We tackled this, like half of this a couple months ago, but I'd like to finish the other half. And then I would love to get at least I wrote baby boy's room a third of his room done. Right now, it is simply a room. 4 white walls, nothing much going on in there other than everything that we bought for him, which is just like piled into the quarter. We need to get to that this month if we can. So those are my goals for December. And now let's get into the budget. So as always, we're going to start by reflecting on November. This is probably the first month, I think, all year that I actually over budgeted my income. Nobody's perfect. What can I say? I do have a variable income because I do social media full time. I'm usually pretty good about lowballing it. If we look back at previous months, October, I budgeted 10,000. I made 29,000. September, I thought I was going to make 6,500. We made 8,500. So like usually I have a pretty good gauge on these things, and I try and err on the side of caution. That was not this month. I I don't know. I don't know what went wrong. I do have a couple of larger brand deals that still need to be paid out and a couple of smaller ones as well. They just like didn't happen for whatever reason. I'm expecting them to be paid hopefully like the next week or two. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but that has kind of skewed my budget a little bit. It's just like, I don't know. Also seeing the red, there's something about it psychologically. I'm like, oh my God, I failed. This is a good month. Like $8,500 I'm so happy with. That is more than enough. That covers all of our expenses. We're able to save, we're able to invest. I just wish I knew it was gonna be $8,500 when I made my budget, and then I would have just budgeted accordingly, but that's okay. So yeah, total income this month came to $15,159.70 between us. Bills were just the old standard $1,400. Same with subscriptions. I don't think there was anything out of the norm there. For our variable expenses, our grocery budget was a little bit lower this month. One of our grocery runs was for a brand deal. I was working with Woolies, which is who we normally shop with. So that was a business expense, but I think in general it was just like a lower spend grocery month. This month we signed up for Woolworths delivery, unlimited like subscription thing, which is free for the first 30 days. So I wanted to give it a go and see how we liked it, especially as we enter parenthood, not having to leave the house to get our groceries, just like one less thing we have to worry about. We've been pretty time poor this month, so it actually worked out quite well and I love it. We mutually decided that we're going to continue because it just not only saved us time, but I also feel like it has really helped with our grocery budget. We can be even more methodical. I'm a methodical gal when it comes to my grocery budget. I love meal planning. I love using ingredients across multiple recipes throughout the week, using up what we have, not buying unnecessary things, making sure I buy things on sale, boosting my app, getting as many rewards dollars as I can. Like I really am so strategic with it, but I feel like getting our groceries delivered has taken it to that next level. Like I can just be even more thorough. So I'm a big fan. We're going to continue with that. Petrol this month, we spent $224. We're a little bit over. That's fine. Pets, I budgeted $250 and we spent $1,242 between both the girls. This was a few things. The $250 was going to be for their food. We bought said food. And then I forgot that I also had it on a auto delivery. I didn't realize. So now we have 2 bags of food. So we won't have to buy dog food for a very long time. They also had a grooming appointment. That's like $130. And then the big ticket item was getting Elsie desexed, which we weren't entirely sure if we were going to do this month. I actually called the vet and I was like, hey, I'm just wanting to get my dog desexed like before the end of the year, before I have my own baby. She's been spending a lot of time with my parents' dog, who's a boy, and he's not desexed because he's still a puppy. I just like, I don't know. I didn't want to chance it. She's over a year old. We've been waiting for her to go into heat. It's a whole story. I've talked about this in a vlog. Kind of got to the point where we're like, okay, this is getting a little risky. I would hate for anything to happen between the two of them. They are very much in love, but maybe they might want to start a family. They're feeling inspired by Nick and I. And so we decided it's probably a good time before the end of the year to get her desexed. And I called up the vet and I'm like, oh yeah, we can do it tomorrow. And I was like, tomorrow? I was not mentally prepared for that. But then I realized it's not really about me. It's actually about Elsie, and she would have no idea if we booked it in a month's time or for tomorrow. So we booked and paid for that. It was like $860, I think, for that surgery and like all the aftercare. That was a big splurge this month, was on the dogs. A couple of categories you'll notice we went way over budget. So home, gifts, and also on the baby. That is because we took that money from savings. So when I was doing my budget for November, I was just budgeting the money that was coming in for November, not what we were spending from savings. So if it looks like we're really over budget, that's why. Yeah, we spent $3,286 on home stuff. Pretty much all of that was on our wardrobe fit outs. We had to pay the final payment on that, which was just over $3,000. And that all came from our home sinking fund. I'll go over our sinking funds and where we're at with those after. Cleaners, we spent $300. Gifts, we spent $815.98. That was all for Christmas presents. I like to do the bulk of my Christmas shopping in November with Black Friday, which can we talk about how Black Friday basically took up the whole entire month? Why am I being inundated with emails and text messages being like, Black Friday sale, and it was the beginning of November. We were under budget for treating others. Eating out, we were a little bit over. We've just been bopping around here, there, and everywhere. Social, we budgeted $1,500. That was for our baby shower. We actually were under budget. We spent $1,283.13. And of that, only $1,087.22 was for the actual baby shower. So we were like $400 under budget, which I'm really happy with. I did vlog it all, so if you want to see all the party prep and DIYs and the actual day, I'll have that link down below. But we had the absolute best day. It was so fun and so wholesome, and we really felt the love from all our friends and family. You guys want the cost breakdown? I guess I can share that with you guys. So we had the shower here, so we didn't spend any money on the venue. Of that $1,087, we spent $230 on some custom cookies. Might sound a little expensive, but the attention to detail, the effort that went into those, they're literally works of art, and they were like a little party favor for everyone. Our signage was kindly gifted by Golden Hour Mirrors on Instagram. Food, we spent $234.50. We really didn't have to buy a lot because my family really came through. My mum made the cake and my sister did the bagel bar. She homemade these bagels. They were such a hit. She did all the toppings and like all the accompaniments. So generous of her. So we really didn't have to buy too much. It was like all the antipasto, cheese, crackers, fruits and veggies. We spent $275.89 on party supplies, decor, games, that kind of thing. $271.83 on alcohol. We do have a lot left over, so that'll tie us over. And then I spent $75 on Canva. So in total, just over $1,000 for our baby shower. Anyone that's curious on the breakdown. We were $24.70 over on our coffee budget. Oopsies. $41.95 on hobbies. We were a little bit over on our shopping budget, under budget for entertainment and books. Only spent $13.83. Date night, we spent $53.93. Nothing on alcohol. Any alcohol that we bought for the baby shower, I just put under social just to keep it all together. Nothing on travel. I did go to Melbourne with my best friend, but that was like work technically. So that was all a business expense. Our miscellaneous category was a little bit high this month because we booked our Santa Paws photos. We just went and did them last night and they turned out so good. I think these were our best ones yet. And then last expense this month was baby stuff. We spent $2,558.97. Really took advantage of some Black Friday deals, and we also bought our pram this month. So that was most of it. Our savings are gonna look a little askew just because we took so much from our savings, and I like to track when I pull from it. You'll see a lot of minuses, but then that's reflected in our savings tracker. This little savings and debt tracker on the spreadsheet. We did save $500 back into our home fund, which feels really good. Put $150 into our car expenses sinking fund. We didn't invest anything this month. That $1,500 was that difference pretty much in my income. Our main focus this month was hitting our big goal, which was to pay off an extra $50,000 of our mortgage by the end of the year. Anything else was like a bonus. And then yeah, we saved $2,000 for the baby as well. As for our debt payoff this month, we just made our normal mortgage repayments, and then we made our final payment of $2,500 to hit our goal of paying off $50,000 extra payment of $50,000. God, does it feel good? When we set this goal back in January, that felt so unattainable, if I'm being honest. It felt like a mammoth goal, and it was. $50,000 extra on top of our normal mortgage repayments felt huge. We have been so lucky, so fortunate. We've also worked hard this year, and we've been really conscious with where our money is going and how we're spending it. Any extra income that we make, like that's where it's gone, and it feels really good to have hit that goal before the end of the year. Now going into the final month of the year, we can just really relax and enjoy and celebrate. Like we did it. I'm really proud of us for that. And I went into more detail about why we're paying off our mortgage early and what that means for us financially in my recent debt-free journey video. Again, I'll have that link down below in case you missed it. That has been a big focus and will continue to be a big focus in 2026, hopefully. Just maybe not quite as aggressively, but I'm proud of us for being able to do it. I wasn't quite sure if we were when we found out we were pregnant back in, what was it, end of May, beginning of June. If anything, it probably gave us that extra motivation knowing that next year is going to look entirely different, and paying extra off our mortgage is probably not going to look like it is right now. I think that gave us that extra little kick to actually get it done, and it's gonna make a world of difference, I know, later down the track with our finances and with owning this home, hopefully outright one day. Having a look at our savings and debt tracker just to see where our sinking funds are at. So baby fund, we're sitting at $2,468.73. We still have $339.71 in our rainy day fund, $50,000 in our extra payment account that's still sitting in our offset account. Again, if you want to hear our strategy with paying off our debt and where that money is actually sitting, my debt-free update, we go into much more detail on that. We have almost $1,500 sitting in our car expenses sinking fund, and these all sit in the same account. Why did I say that so aggressively? I'm like running out of breath. This baby is killing me, honestly. My lungs are like up here. Everything's up here. I think this is my sign to like slow down and stop talking so fast, which I always get comments about, and I can't help it. This is just who I am. If you ever feel like I'm talking too fast, there is a function on YouTube where you can turn down the speed. You can lower it to like 0.5. I do apologize. I need to slow down for myself. What was I saying? Oh yeah, all of these accounts sit in one account, just one singular account. And then the only way that I really know what money is for what is from this spreadsheet. This is how I track what we spend and what we save from that one savings account. So say we have $94,000 sitting in our savings. I know $35,000 of that is for our emergency fund. $3,263.73 is for our home fund. And then when we spend money throughout the month, you'll see here, I transferred $3,033 from my home fund, and then I spent $3,033 on our wardrobes, and that automatically updates in the savings and debt tracker tab, which I love. Sorry, little change in location. I am getting the worst pins and needles sitting down there. My baby's like kicking me in the ribs and I can't breathe. I'm hoping sitting up here will help me. Anyway, let's set up our budget for December. I'm gonna start by adding in our income. I'm just gonna copy and paste from the previous month. This is actually a 3-paycheck month for Nick, which is stunning. So he gets paid the 3rd. It'll be the 17th, and then he should get his final paycheck on the 31st. And then for my business income, I always just do it at the start of the month, and I'm actually expecting closer to $20,000. I did not enjoy last month and seeing the red, so I'm gonna be conservative and say 8,500 surely. Again, I'm just gonna copy and paste over our bills and subscriptions from last month. Just like that. We might sign up for Disney Plus, I'm not entirely sure, just because there's a couple of Christmas movies I want to watch on there. We'll leave it at 0 for now. Again, I'm going to copy and paste our mortgage repayments. I just like to go through all of our fixed expenses first. So our bills, subscriptions, and our mortgage. These are things that are just non-negotiable. Subscriptions are negotiable, but they're a reoccurring expense and we're not going to cancel them unless we have to. That leaves us with $13,044 left to budget. I know that's money we're either spending, saving, or investing. We'll start with our needs. So groceries, I'm going to budget $7.50. That's what we typically spend throughout the month. We'll go $2.50 for petrol. We have a follow-up appointment with our vet, so I'm going to budget $1.50 for pets. I think it's a 3 clean month, so we'll go $4.50 for cleaners. And then if it's under, that's fine. Gifts will definitely be a high spend category for us, but I'm going to leave it at 0 because I'm just budgeting the money that we're making this month. Anything that we spend on gifts, we will pull from our gift sinking fund. We're just transferring it from our savings, so I don't have to factor it into this month's budget. Treating others, I'm going to go $500. That's for like donations, if I want to treat friends, family. Eating out, we'll try and keep low. I said I wanted to have a low spend month with our personal spending, so we'll say $150 between us. December is notoriously a very busy month for us socially. We have something on pretty much every single weekend, so we'll say $300 for social. Coffee I would like to keep to $75 this month. $50 for hobbies. We'll go $50 for transport. I'm gonna budget $75 for shopping, just to give us a little something so we don't feel completely restricted, but like, let's keep it tame. I'm not gonna budget anything for entertainment. We have 2 movie vouchers that we still need to use. We still haven't seen Wicked Part 2, and I know the new Avatar movie is coming out, so we'll just use our gift vouchers for that. I'm gonna budget $30 for books, go $50 for date night. Alcohol, I'm gonna budget $50. We do have a lot left over from our baby shower, but it's mostly wine. I do wanna get our car detailed. How much is that? But that will come from our car maintenance fund. So I'm gonna leave that at 0. I just wanna do it before we install the car seat. And then again, nothing for baby McGrath, because if we spend any money, it will come from our savings. And right now we're just budgeting what we're making. That brings our total variable expenses to $3,080. That's a figure that I'm happy with. Between $2,500 to $3,500 is what we typically aim for. And that gives us, that would leave us with quite a lot. Yeah, 3 paycheck months, so $9,964 left to budget. We're gonna budget $500 for travel. We don't have any immediate travel plans. I mean, we're about to have a baby, so definitely not, but we do have quite big travel goals for next year. Anyone that I've spoken to that has a baby, they say if you have the time and you have the means, travel while the baby's young and travel while you only have 1 kid. So we're really taking that advice on board and like running with it. So we would like to do some traveling next year if we can. We do have a lot of Qantas points that we've accumulated and will continue to accumulate. So I'm not sure what our flights are gonna look like, but I think it's time to start saving if we can. We'll budget $1,000 for home. We don't have any ongoing home projects at the moment. One thing that we would still really like to do, especially before our child is walking, is to get gates installed. $1,000 for that, $150 for car expenses, nothing for emergency fund. That is fully funded. And we haven't touched that in, touch wood, a long time. We didn't invest anything last month, so we're gonna try and double our investment goal this month. I'm gonna budget $1,000 for business as an extra super contribution. I imagine our gift fund will be pretty much depleted by the end of this year, but we'll start again in the new year. We don't have many birthdays in the first half of the year. Nothing in offset, nothing for rainy day fund, and then baby fund. I'm gonna say $500. I think that will bring us to about $10,000, which was like our original budget for baby things. Cool, so that leaves us with $4,814. What do we do with that? Okay, well, we'll change this to $2,500 for our business and we'll invest $3,000. How does that look? $2,314.67. Okay, well, we'll just contribute more to these two. $1,500 in our travel fund and $1,500 in our home fund. And that leaves us with $814.67 left over, which is a good amount actually. That's like a nice buffer. It is a 3 paycheck month. This one will land on the last day of December. So that $814 will carry us through to next payday into like January. And I'll show you guys how I roll over any money when I set up our 2026 budget and how that looks. But yeah, it'll be good to have a little bit of a buffer as we enter the new month, because it'll be a full 2 weeks before we get another paycheck. Cool. I am quite happy with that. I think that is an every dollar budget. Oh, you know what we didn't look at? Our breakdown of November. Probably because I didn't want to. 31.4% of our money went towards debt in November, which is a solid amount. 60.9% went towards expenses, so just under $12,000. Keeping in mind that some of that is from our savings. 7.4% of our money went towards bills and 0.4% on subscriptions. If we take away what we pulled from savings, so our home, baby McGrath, and gifts, we were still a little bit over budget, $357 over budget, but it looks quite a lot better, doesn't it? Having a look at the more intricate breakdown, 17% of our money went towards our home. That was getting our wardrobes done. 13.2% on the baby. 12.9% on our extra mortgage repayment, 9.9% on our mortgage, 8.3% on the other half, 6.6% on our baby shower and other social things, 6.4% on dogs, 4.2% towards gifts, 2.5% on groceries. Cool. Well, thank God I didn't miss that. That's like my favorite part. I would have been mad at myself if I missed that. Well, that is my December budget. Thank you guys so much for resetting with me for the month. Whether this is your first video of mine that you're watching or it's your last, well, hopefully not your last. Hopefully you do come back for future videos. But if you've been here for a long time, I appreciate you. And thank you so much for sticking with me. Thank you so much for supporting me, whether that's just by you watching or leaving a comment, liking this video, whatever it is. It truly doesn't go unnoticed. And I love and appreciate you all so much. I hope you will have a wonderful December. Plenty of content to come. This is not the last of me. I will be taking a bit of a break, like a week or two off of social media towards the end of the month, but plenty more content to come in the next few weeks. So definitely stay tuned, stay safe, stay cool. If you're in Australia, things are definitely heating up. Even in Adelaide, things are heating up finally. I think we're about to have our first like 32-degree day. So finally, rock on. Love you guys so much. I'll see you soon. Bye.